Good morning, this is Jack from Charting the Markets, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Thursday, the 12th of June. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what I'm doing, learn from it, transfer it to your own charts. I'm not here to issue trading signals. Right. Okay. Right, we've seen some retracement overnight. The sell signals on ES. ES made the possible near miss target. RTY made the full target. We do have some buy signals brewing today, and obviously we've got 3 days of wars permitting. Bullish leading tape going into next week, and then 3 neutral days around the holiday on next Thursday. On ES here, do we have a potential double top here? Potentially. You've got potential topping action. But there's not much reason to think that this isn't going to continue going up. But I am thinking it might go down a little lower first. I'm still looking for a couple of trend line hits on the RTH charts, which I'll be looking at. On NQ gone down a little. RTY has gone down more sharply, having gone higher. Obviously, on the bigger picture, this is breaking up from an inverted head and shoulders. We've now also got a possible weak 6-minute buy signal brewing, and that is currently trying to fix. Looking at YM, no current divergence, just back testing the weekly pivot at the moment. DAX, we had a buy signal, and that's failed. And ESTX, we've got a weak 6-minute buy signal, that has fixed. Hang on 1 second, I'm just going to correct that. All right. So weekly bullish is how I would describe the setup here. So we will see. All right, let's have a look at the bigger picture charts. And on SPX, we've got... we did see a slight break below the support trend line here. That's fine. We're still setting up a support trend line here, and I am hoping it's going to go a little lower. It will go a little lower at the open today. I don't know if it's going to go as low as I was hoping it would go, but we will see. In terms of how low I'm hoping it will go, I'm hoping we can get down to here on the Qs, which is still some distance away, and here on Dia, which is slightly less far away. All right, nothing happening really on the and nothing really happening unless we start seeing some tests and breaks of the daily middle band. Nothing happening on the hourly chart here. Possible resistance trend line here I was looking at, but nothing particularly convincing. Looking at the Dia chart, again, watching the daily middle band as the main support, and on the hourly chart, no current divergence. But it does get more interesting when we look at the IWM chart, which was the one which fell the most yesterday. On the daily chart, obviously we're all out of daily sell signals now because obviously we made the possible near miss target and we got back to the 70 level. I've got this possible channel here which I'm watching carefully, but I've actually broken that down further on the hourly chart where we had an RSI 5 and RSI 14 sell signals fixed, and we've still got an RSI 14 sell signal, and we have got a potential trend line here which actually isn't bad. So I'm watching that with interest. I think the channel is still probably the main one here, particularly with the IHS having broken up, but watching it obviously with interest. For this head and shoulders to fail, it would need to get below the right shoulder low at 199.85. Okay, so looking at the 15-minute chart, not a lot to see really. So we will see how it goes, but I don't think. Let's have a quick look at that pattern on here. Bear in mind. Let's see. I think it comes from here. Yeah, I mean, looking at it more closely, we haven't quite made it to the trendline resistance here, but watching that with interest. So we shall see. A little bit of negative divergence here. We've got an RSI 14 sell signal, which has already made the possible near miss target. Okay, looking at DAX. DAX, we've now actually got a weak RSI 14 sell signal fixed and an RSI 5 sell signal fixed, and we're testing the daily middle band. Watching that to see how that develops today, but if we start seeing daily middle bands break, then obviously those are the main support levels. Nikkei was commenting that on if IWM actually makes the target to the upside, then this has got a shot at reaching a reaching a retest of this high here at 42.4k. I posted the bull scenario yesterday. and we will see. Obviously, there have been some developments. Obviously, there's a potential that there's going to be military action in the Gulf that's sending oil prices up, and Iran and the US seem very, very far from an agreement, and it may be that there will be military action. That will generally be market negative. Okay, looking at DX, where I think to a certain extent we're also seeing the reaction to War Talk, and we're no longer forming a potential IHS here, and this double bottom broke up and it rejected back into the low. I'm looking at a possible test. No, we've already done it. We've done a test of this, retest this low here. So actually at this point, I'm wondering whether we might break down below the bull flag support there. I was always a little improbable, but if that actually breaks, then that opens the way to the downside, and we can see considerably lower. ZB has gone up, and it's coming back up and clearly retesting this high. We've no longer got a head and shoulders forming, and we could be seeing a larger breakup, and actually it's possible this could be seen as an IHS, and I'm going to draw that in. But we will see how it goes. I have read that the Treasury has started aggressively buying bonds in an effort to keep interest rates down. This is interesting and not unexpected. So that could deliver a rally on bonds, although I do wonder how far that could go. CL, obviously we broke over the possible resistance trend line I was looking at. This could still be a bear flag, but we may be opening up for a move up into the bigger trend line resistance I was talking about on the bigger picture, which I've got in the 77 area. HO could still be a bear flag, and we've reached that trend line there. RBOB still a bit short, but equally could be a bear flag. But if we are going to see military action in the Middle East on a serious level against Iran, then we are looking at a situation where oil prices would tend to go up and markets would tend to go down. All right, NG made it almost back into a retest of this low. I'm leaning short on this at the moment, and I'm wondering about a possible bearish triangle forming here. So we will see. I don't think we've got a solid trend line here. Actually, pretty close, but not there. So yeah, it's so I am wondering about a bearish triangle forming here, and it's currently looking a lot like that. All right, looking at GC. GC, if we're going to see war, then that would, like, generally speaking, be good for gold. So we've got a bull flag here. We've got a nice setup to go back to the all-time high. We'll see how that goes. SI has been reversing a bit. We've got a possible head and shoulders forming here. The sell signal made target. On palladium, we've been seeing what looks like a bull flag forming again, and no current divergence. Platinum, we've had a third 60-minute sell signal fixed. Not too exciting as the last two failed, and this has been a very strong trend up. This looks like this is a potential bull flag forming as well. HG hasn't quite made it to the support here, and we've got a possible 60-minute buy signal brewing here too. This could as well be a bull flag, so we'll see. All right, let's have a look at, there's not much to see on the currency pairs this morning. On KC, wondering about seeing a retest of this low here. This isn't really looking like an IHS at the moment. No current divergence. On SB, still looks like I'm leaning towards seeing a retest this little low here. That could be the second low of a double bottom. Still looks like this is basically just a rough channel going down. So we'll see how that develops, but at the moment that hasn't broken up. On cocoa, we've got a bear flag which is broken down with a target and a retest of this low. No current reason to think that isn't going to deliver. Looking at cotton, still looks like a double bottom forming. Lumber still looks like a bear flag forming. On wheat, we've still got a nice looking double top here, albeit a bit oversized, and it's testing the monthly pivot. If this breaks, then this could definitely go down. No current positive divergence as the RSI went too high here. On corn, possible double bottom or IHS forming. On soy, we've got a decent looking flag which has broken up, and we've now got a 60-minute buy signal that's fixed. So it's trying to get back over the monthly pivot. If it can, then that opens up potentially a retest of this high here in about the 1082 area. Looking at Looking at soybean oil, this still looks like a bear flag. Keeping an open mind, the 60-minute buy signal has now reached the full target. Live cattle, I am wondering about some retracement here, and lean hogs also with a possible 60-minute sell signal brewing. So we shall see. All right, let's have a quick look at questions, of which we have none at the moment. So let's just have a quick review of ES. Okay, ES. We made the sell signals targets. We're getting some buy signals here. Obviously, we've got potential war in the Middle East as a background, which isn't absolutely a great background. We do have this bullish window here, and I'm still wondering if it might deliver. We will see. If that's the case, then we could still see a bit more downside today as we try and reach these the obvious trend lines on the Qs and dire for support from the April low. But bigger picture, everything really is leaning bullish at the moment. War's permitting, war and news permitting. All right, great. In that case, I think it's a wrap. I will catch everyone tomorrow. All right, take care.